Hi everyone, it's Hayley. I've realised that I have not done a CML update in quite a while, so I figured it was about time I came on and did an update for you. My main aim in doing these videos was that when I was diagnosed, I couldn't really find a lot of current relevant information about CML, and I especially wanted to hear from real people who had been diagnosed. That's what I felt like I needed at the time, and I couldn't find any of that. And my videos were, I wanted to do them for people in my position, and I've kind of fallen down on that because I've not been keeping up with the updates. So I am going to start doing regular 3 monthly updates after each appointment, and any in between for anything else that I feel might be helpful to other people. So I can't remember, I think my last video was about 6 months ago. So I've got 2 appointments to update you on. The one that was just over 3 months ago showed a slight rise in my PCR results. So the results before that had been 0.82, and the results just over 3 months ago came in at 0.96. So I know it's not a massive rise, and it was still under the 1% just. But obviously not what we wanted after only a year of treatment. So my consultant had said we'd sort of watch and wait for the next 3 months. If there was another rise or it didn't move, then he wanted to do another bone marrow biopsy just to make sure that everything in the marrow was looking good. And he said at that point, if everything in the marrow or the chromosome has gone, then he'd be happy to just keep me on imatinib and just kind of on the understanding that those are the levels I'm going to reach, and I may not go deeper into remission than that. And he said if the numbers decrease again and things look like they're moving in the right direction again, then we can hold off on the bone marrow biopsy. So my appointment a couple of weeks ago, I was quite nervous because obviously I didn't want another rise and the potential that the imatinib was no longer working for me. So I was quite nervous. But we had another drop, and it dropped down to 0.49, so it's the lowest it's ever been. Still not as low as I would like, but I know that with some of us it just takes longer to get there than others. My consultant is quite happy with the results. However, he does really want to do another bone marrow biopsy, even though he had said before that we only had to do it if my numbers remained the same or went higher. He just said that with his patients he likes to do a bone marrow biopsy at diagnosis, and he likes to do another one sort of a year down the line just so they can double check that everything is going as you would hope it is. He doesn't foresee any problems because my numbers are at the level that they are, but he just thinks that it wouldn't be responsible of him to not check. So my next appointment is on the 5th of May, and regardless of what the results of that are, we will be having a bone marrow biopsy after that appointment. He's held off for a long time because I found it so distressing the first time, but I can see that he really wants me to have another one done, so he's the expert, not me, so I'm leaving myself in his capable hands, and I'll just bite the bullet and have another one. Not everybody finds them as uncomfortable as I did, not everybody finds it as traumatic as I did, and I think perhaps it was really bad for me because I was in hospital at the time fighting an infection about 2 weeks after starting the imatinib, and I think where I was feeling so poorly anyway, maybe I was just hypersensitive to it, so I'm kind of hoping that the next one won't be quite as painful. But if it is as painful, it is only a matter of seconds of pain, so I'm just going to man up and get on with it. So So yeah, the results are dropping again, which is what we wanted, and things are looking okay. If you can hear squeaking, that is the hamster wheel. Just just if you can hear the squeaking, that is the hamster running in its wheel, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I don't know why he's awake, but he is. So that's that noise, that's what that is. Yeah, so I think the only other thing to update you on is, if you've been diagnosed for a while, you will know about the generics situation with imatinib. If you haven't been diagnosed that long, chances are you don't really know much about it. Basically, imatinib was patented by Novartis, and that patent ran out in December of last year, December 2016. And what that means is that other companies are allowed to make it, which means you get a generic form of the drug rather than the branded Gleevec imatinib. You could be given any imatinib, any generic. So it's made the CML community, if you're on the Facebook group, then you probably be aware of this, that it's made the CML community quite nervous, just because everyone's quite comfortable where they are with their drug, and even though the makeup of the drug is exactly the same, it has to be for it to work. The way they bind it and make up the tablet differs with each manufacturer. So the side effect profile could be different. Nobody knows really. So there's been quite a lot of sort of nervous conversations going on about generics. I'm in a fortunate position where I'm a private patient. So after discussions with my consultant, he said that for as long as my insurance company would fund Gleevec, then he was happy to keep prescribing me Gleevec. So I was in quite a fortunate position with that. When I went to pick up my latest prescription for imatinib, they had given me the generic form. Turns out my consultant hadn't specified Gleevec because he was under the understanding that my hospital, my trust, hadn't started giving out the generic imatinib yet because there was an issue with some of the information that was being given out with these tablets. So he thought that they weren't giving them out, so he didn't think he had to specify Gleevec. So I got the generics. So we ended up having to have a conversation with the pharmacy, and I had to take the generic back to pick up the branded Gleevec. So I have got the branded Gleevec for 1 month at the moment because my consultant is on annual leave, and the pharmacy didn't want to give me 3 months worth without his complete say-so. So had a bit of a palaver with that, and I know that one day I will have to go on to generics, and that's fine, but whilst I am in the position to be able to keep receiving Gleevec, then I would like to do so. If anyone's got any questions regarding the generics, I can only refer you on to the CML, the UK CML Facebook page, because the group is just full of knowledge. Everybody on there knows so much about their own illness and have become so informed by swapping facts and information with each other. So if you have any questions that I've not covered in this video regarding generics, please go on to the Facebook CML group and have a look on there and ask any questions that you really want to ask, because someone on there will know the answer. So yeah, for me it's bone marrow biopsy sometime in May after my next appointment, and just hoping that the numbers continue to fall. They fell quite quickly for me. I started off at 182%, and so a year later I am now down to 0.49 from 182, which is amazing, but I'm not reaching those 0.000 levels. Not to say that I won't reach them, but perhaps I'll just be a slower responder. But that's fine, as long as my numbers are going in the right direction. I don't would like them to be faster, but I don't particularly mind that they're going slowly, because they're going down, and that's what we want. We want them to go down. So yeah, that's my update. I didn't want this to be too long a video, so I feel like I've raced through it a little bit because I had 2 appointments to update you on. But now that I'm getting back into the swing of regular videos, it won't feel like you've pressed fast forward by accident and I'm speeding through it. Going forward, they'll be sort of a lot calmer and slower, and not feel like so much of a whirlwind. So I apologise for that. But I will keep you updated after my next appointment, which is the 5th of May. And I'll sort of let you know what's going on with the bone marrow biopsy. And in the meantime, if you've got any questions, if you're newly diagnosed or you know someone who's newly diagnosed, comment below. Please do ask any questions, and please utilise the Facebook group. I cannot remember exactly what it's called, but if you search for CML UK, it should come up as like the top option. And they're a wonderful group of people, and they're all so helpful and so kind. So I couldn't recommend them enough. Make sure you utilise them if you need them. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I will speak to you in a couple of months' time. I hope you're all doing okay, and I am thinking of everybody. It's rubbish being diagnosed with any cancer, and so I really know how you feel. And so my thoughts are with you all, and yeah, I will speak to you soon. Bye.